Gracias. Thank you. This has been a long day for everybody, so we're at the end, but that's where we always talk about the money and funding, and so I'm also happy to contribute to it. My name is Lars Boering. I'm the director of the European Journalism Center Foundation, based in the Netherlands since 1992, when Europe was born, or maybe reborn or born again. I would say connected to the Treaty of Maastricht. EJC, and I'm going to share my screen showing some of these examples. Let's see if I can do that. There you go. Is it showing? I think it is, yes. EJC is we believe that journalism media needs to be supported, strengthened, and developed. Just like Stephen talked about the space that we work in, we also work in what we call the Council of Europe. For us, that's a working area that we very deliberately chose because I think there's many of our colleagues that work worldwide or have specific strengths in parts of the world. For us, it's easier to stay within the European domain and work together, which I will explain how we do that a little bit later. Talking about information, I think that is one of the themes of today: misinformation, disinformation, where disinformation is very deliberate. Misinformation is something that by all of us working together, we could avoid. And I think that with the changes taking place in journalism and in media these days, I think that we should realize that the most crucial part of what we are looking at is information. Information needs to be valuable and also needs to be seen by an audience as valuable, because without any value, there seems to be no reason for people to be attracted to information. That is difficult because we believe that journalism is something that people value. There's a lot of discussion and a lot of research going on about people that avoid news. I would say I always try to make a distinction. Sometimes I even say a bit provoking, news has become the enemy of journalism, because the news is something that people seem to avoid, but journalism is something certainly people do not want to avoid. And also there are a lot of clear examples also where it shows that people are willing to pay for it. On information and making sure that the right things come across, we have a couple of ways of working. Most important is grants, bringing the money and resources in the hands of journalism and the media. One of the examples is the climate frontline grantees we just have in Portugal. We just announced the grantees. But we also are very active in climate science and journalism. How does that go along? And just as journalism has the challenge of keeping the audience engaged or making sure that people still believe in information, I think science has the same approach to it. We believe now that solidarity amongst organizations, media development organizations, anything that is supporting the right information comes across. I have recently written a couple of articles about it, and I'll continue to do that, because with the collapse of the funding, what we have seen this year, primarily caused by the USAID taking away most of the money for development aid, but also for journalism, we can see now that there's a real pressure on the resources that are available. And I think that I and EJC, we believe that working together is going to be very crucial. We also work with grants, we work with communities, we work with events, and we also make sure that we get resources across. But with funding, we make sure that that is one of our main goals, because we believe that having the resources for journalists is something that is these days the most crucial. A couple of examples, the Journalism Science Alliance, we work with the university in Lisbon. Big numbers always, 2.7 million. Most of the money there comes into the hands of media, I would say. So we try to be as lean and efficient and effective as possible, because I think that is the most important thing for people to believe in what we do. We should not be overspending too much on ourselves. The other one also. The IGA for EU, it's one of the main programs in Europe, investigative journalism for Europe, cross-border journalism, something that is very, very important and also seen by the European Commission as something that is important. We do it together with IPI from Vienna and the ECPMF. We're very proud that that is a program that we are part of now for the third session in 6 years. We cannot do everything ourselves, but we also believe that others working together should also be shown. We have a seat in the Global Forum for Media Development. It's not about having a seat. Everybody always wants a seat at the table, but for me, it's more important that we start to see in solidarity also what happens around the world. How can we make sure that we influence each other? How can we
One
share
minute,
knowledge?
please.
Yes. And I think that is so anything that we cannot do ourselves, we scale up with others. Why I'm pointing this out, on this page of the Global Forum for Media Development, there is a button for funding. That is a global overview of anything that is available. If you look at now the specifics on mis and disinformation, it only shows one, but I think you should keep an eye on it, because I think it's important to know what's going on. And finally, there's also a way there on that website to find resources and information. I believe that there's so much available for all journalists and media globally to look at. All of what we have to do is make sure that people know about it and that they will see it. 1 minute was short, but muchas gracias.